So Roy is I'm going to say, I don't even know what to title you as. What would you title yourself as?
I am an artist. No, I'm joking. I am an artist, but that's a bit wanky. I'm I'm predominantly a theatre director, although I also have worked in film, and I'm trying to find some manoeuvres into television.
Yeah.
But predominantly a director. I'm also a writer in my bedroom. Occasionally, I grow some balls and send it out to some places. I also write spoken word. That's very, very low key.
Low key.
And I've only had one performance at the Bank of England. I don't.
Wow.
And then also on the side, I'm kind of I am a youth arts facilitator. I teach young people acting predominantly, and a variety of different things. I also am a wine waiter.
Okay.
Very occasionally at the Dorchester Hotel.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's the life of an artist.
Yeah.
So I'm not a wine connoisseur at all, but
you do that when you haven't got
when I
jobs.
haven't got money.
I mean, that must be one of the biggest challenges as an artist, director, self-employed.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think the biggest challenge of being a director, especially, I don't think it's just exclusive to theatre. I think it's across many art forms actually. The fact that you have to be, more than often you have to be the generator of your own work.
Yeah.
It's only when momentum starts to build and I guess you start to develop a bit of a name for yourself, which very luckily is happening at the moment.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to scrunt as hard as I used to try and find work. But there's a real issue within the industry about pay brackets and what people should be paid, and because theatre is and film, and entertainment in general, in some regards they're such glamorous, luxurious kind of privileged jobs, and so I think people feel the fact that you're lucky enough to do the thing that you love, means that it should somehow kind of compensate for the lack of money, the lack of finance. But obviously, happiness doesn't necessarily pay your bills,
and it also doesn't feed you.
It doesn't feed you. Exactly.
It might feed your soul.
Yeah, I mean, it does help to be able to wake up every morning and say, yeah, I'm doing something that I love. And even if I wake up and I'm feeling a bit down or I'm not having a great day, I know that the next day will be infinitely better because I'm doing things that I absolutely love, But that is a real big challenge, finance and money and just keeping the faith, knowing your worth and knowing that you can
I mean, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been in this industry?
So, I started off as a singer and musician when I was quite young, and I'd say 12, 13, and then when I was about 15, I got asked to be in a play.
Okay.
And this was at Oval House Theatre, which is not too far from here. And I acted for a little while, and then decided that I wanted to I was really cocky as a kid, and I thought I could do everything. So I started writing and directing, and I went and trained. So I think I started taking it seriously about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was I'm definitely doing this. This is what I'm doing. And start to actually think about tangible ways in which I could actually achieve the goal of becoming a theatre artist.
Yeah.
So it's about 10 years. And, 3 of those years I spent in training at drama school on a directing degree.
Yeah.
Which was amazing because it was a course that, there were only 7 of us in our class.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
the
Wow.
attention that you get is like
high,
really
yeah.
like high. So I did that for 3 years, and then when I came out, I kind of thought, right, boom, West End, here I come. I'm set.
Cash, nothing, yeah.
And it did not work like that at all. It did not work like that at all. Basically, what happened is I then kind of had to go right back to the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah.
In the theatre industry, as a director, the way that it works a few ways actually. There's no like specific way in which you do it.
Yeah.
But the kind of traditional route that has kind of like developed over the years is, you do a bit of youth theatre stuff. You do like, muck about with your friends and try and like pretend that you know what you're doing. And then you go, right, okay, who are the other directors, artists that I find are interesting? I'm going to try and find a way to like meet with them and ask them if I can be their assistant director.
Yeah.
So like, you become their assistant director, which can vary. It can be you're doing research, you're helping the actors learn lines, you're supporting in terms of like second rehearsals, taking groups of actors off and re-rehearsing scenes, when you get masses of responsibility, or you sit in the corner and you make tea and you invent as many like games with your pen and your notepad to keep yourself awake and energized and
like your brain's still going.
Keep yourself still engaged, and then once you've done that for a while, hopefully in lots of different buildings with different companies, people start to recognize you, and then I guess they kind of like either go, wow, this kid has something, or they kind of take pity on you and go, yeah man, they've been doing it for a while, I think we should
give them a
maybe
break.
We should, yeah. And I kind of think I don't know, I think it was a combination of the two for me. Because I worked in like, I've been so lucky to, I can trace my trajectory from like the first like assistant directorship that I did straight through to where I am right now.
Yeah.
Being handed from person to person. Like, this guy, you need to pay attention to him. Have a meeting with them. And they're like, great. And then, and it's kind of worked like that, The Bush Theatre, the Lyric Hammersmith, the Royal Court, the Young Vic, Oval House.
Doing the most.
There's like so many theatres that I've kind of had to like try and like put some kind of stamp in the minds of the people that work in these places, so that hopefully they remember me and give me an opportunity. It's a bit like playing Monopoly and trying to like buy as many shares in these different places, but except that your currency is your name and your ideas and your ethics, and how hard you work. And thankfully that's paid off, but I only just directed my own, so then that was like 6 years after graduating from drama school of assistant directing. 6 years.
It's a long time, man.
Yeah, and I mean the other route is that you kind of go, I'm going to go around the houses, as in I ain't going to engage with them. There's other venues, I'll find my own money somehow.
Yeah.
I'll rustle up the change, do some fundraisers, whatever, and I'll put my own work on. But I'm a terrible producer, as in the organisation of it all, the fundraising. I'm so bad at it. And I have done it before on one show, and that show was dreadful. I don't speak about it. Sometimes I don't even put it on my CV. Like, it was bad. It was bad.
Oh no.
It was so bad.
Oh, now I want to know about it.
No. I'm not going to talk about it. It's fine though. But like, that failure was valid. And it taught me a lot. It taught me that I need to find the right person who is willing to believe in my kind of vision. Not necessarily even in vision, but in my ethics and the way in which I work, and is happy to invest the time and the funds and help to put that all together. So, but yeah, it was only last year that I directed my first, I had my directorial debut.
Yeah.
My first ever theatre production, which was a play called Stoneface, which is about the disintegration of the welfare state.
Okay.
And it was at this theatre called the Fimbra, which is above a pub in Earl's Court. And luckily for me, at the same time, I had applied for a Directors Award, a really, really prestigious Directors Award. some of the directors who have won that are like, you know, associate directors at the Young Vic. They're directing in the West End, The Bodyguard. They're directing film and television now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really prestigious list. So I am like the 19th member of that list now.
Yeah.
And also the
After applause.
person,
And the first what?
the first black person.
Hold
to win
on,
that
wait a
award.
sec. You're making it. You're making it sound like it's nothing. Don't be humble. Don't be eating that humble pie.
No, I mean, for me, it's more shocking. It's like it. Yeah, it is an achievement, but it's sad that it's 2016 when that happens. But I think it's like a double-edged sword. I think you know, there's a real issue in the industry about like who tells what stories, and like black directors more than often are like not necessarily given like first call to direct shows that are outside of their experience.
Yeah.
And then the shows that are about their experience, more than often it's like a starry director who often is like a white man. Which I have a real problem with, you know.
Yeah,
and I speak very openly about it as well, but hopefully things are changing. But yeah, so it's been a really, really long journey. It's a very, very lonely job directing. You feel very much like you're on your own. You've got to be your own cheerleader.
So how do you get past that?
A few things. I think at first it was about surrounding myself in a really strong like network of people. And then I found that sometimes I felt like I was running away from myself. Like trying to be with people all the time, surrounded by people. Even if the people weren't real, it was like the people on Netflix or the people on, you know, in movies or whatever. And meeting other like-minded artists is cool because then you can express those anxieties about how lonely you are. I know it sounds so sad, but it's not, especially because you're dealing with, you know, like it's such a personal job because your work is your creative ideas, or if not your ideas, your decisions. And it's just as kind of like high stakes as being like a CEO of a massive multi-million pound company, you know, because I mean, even though the money might not be there, it's still, I guess, the same level of like stress and tension in terms of like the decisions that you make, because ultimately it don't matter if you cast an actor and they're not great, you cast them. If your design doesn't work, you chose that. You said yes, you signed it off. So you take responsibility for everything.
It's quite a lot of pressure.
It can be, yeah. But I think it's really rewarding. Like when you see the end product and other people appreciate it, when you know that you make a piece of work that really speaks to people, then you know that it's worth it. But I think the thing that has like maybe been the most effective in terms of like dealing with being a loner is kind of accepting that there's nothing wrong with that. That solitude is important. And like I said, you know, it felt like I was running away from myself. And spending more time on my own, like just ignoring my phone and either reading or sometimes just sitting and thinking, not meditating in a kind of kind of sense, but like thinking on life and on the choices that I'm making, on why I make those choices and how I can better myself. Yeah, it's really key to like be in touch with your instinct, know your instinct, know that you can trust yourself and your own decisions. And that's why I think that solitude is so important, because if you're relying on other people to endorse you all the time, then, you know,
you're constantly waiting for someone else's
validation. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what we like to leave the viewers with is like a sentence or a statement, something to motivate them on a Monday morning when they're feeling pretty low.
The biggest fear really is when you're afraid of yourself, because like self-destruction is so common in our narratives as human beings. Learning to like not be afraid of the power of your mind, learning not to be afraid of like loneliness. That loneliness is actually a great time for productivity, and sometimes you just have to say I will, like, and I can, and eliminate all of the like negative vocabulary when it comes to like the dreams that you have. Nobody else is going to do it for you.
No.
Be your own cheerleader. Like if you're screaming loud enough with your pom-poms over here, then other people will come and join, and then like you'll have a whole group of people.
He's not on it.
Oh, he's not on it, but that's fine because we're here. You know, we've got 4 hands between us and feet, and do you know what I mean? If you do it loud enough and strong enough, then eventually other people will recognize what you're doing, and if the quality of work that you're doing is good enough, other people will become your cheerleaders too and support the work that you're doing.
Hopefully you guys found that inspirational, motivational on this Monday whilst Roy is on his way to New York. Make sure you hit Roy out for all of his stuff. I'm going to say, Roy Alexander, come on, I've got this.
Go on.
Weise.
Yeah.
Got this. Yeah, make sure you hit him up for where he's going to be performing, or not even performing yourself, but...
Well, I might be. Never know.
Oh, stay tuned. Until next time, take care. Much love.
So you've not had chicken in all that time?
That pigeon's getting real good.
I could clock the pigeon from the corner of my eye.
You know they don't move. You could go like that and they're just like, what? So,
you're like, and they're like.
It's weirding me out that it's just chilling on our old seat. Look at it.
It is.
Woo! No. The joys of filming outside. Did that just make that sound? Or did it
Oh! What's going on? Leave the pigeons them alone. The pigeons them never do you nothing. I mean,
do you want to be light skinned?
No, I don't want to be light skinned. I'm very happy with the amount of melanin that I'm blessed with.
I mean, you should be.
I know, I am.
I'm gonna just sit like this because I look like the same colour as this right now. Look, I'm the same colour as the baby.
Sorry, I'm just taking a moment.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm just taking a moment, yeah.